It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Oh, a great day to talk hockey. Why, in particular? Game day. It's been way too long. What was more than 3 weeks since the Habs played a game? And hey, we get blessed with the match against the Islanders tonight. Should be a dandy. The return of Emil Heineman. I hope the best for Emil, but hopefully he doesn't get any points tonight. It should be a dandy. The Habs took Bolduc out of the lineup. Newhook's back in. Hopefully he's ready to roll. He certainly had enough time to prepare for this. He must be champing at the bit to get back in the lineup. I can't wait to see how he looks. But should be a good game. Looking forward to it. Dobson obviously getting to play against his old team, and he'll be safe to say he should be motivated. Really looking forward to this one. The Canadians are really, I think, in a position to challenge for the first overall here in the conference. Tampa's going to be tough to beat, but I don't know. The Habs, I have a good feeling that it's gonna come right down to the wire for not only the division but the conference. I think the Canadians are a team that's on the rise here, and the young group that went to the Olympics, I think, is going to come back, and they're really going to be full of confidence. I look for Slav to just continue to grow on what we saw at the Olympics and what we saw before the Olympics too. He had, the last 2 months he had been sensational, and I think that he went up one more level even at the Olympics, and I think he's going to come back. And that line, I'm looking forward to seeing really good things from that line. Encouraging to see Kirby Dach out during the break, practicing quite a bit. Obviously, he wants to stay sharp. I mean, you barely play for 2 years, and I don't think, and he realized that it probably wouldn't have been a good idea for him to go sit on a beach for 2 weeks after playing 50 games in the past 2 years or something like that. So good for him. I think he'll just be even sharper, fully recovered from whatever was ailing him before. And I look forward to seeing the top line and the second line. Now, let's have a quick look here. While we're talking about the Habs, here is the projected lineup for tonight. I expect good things from the top two lines, but it's that third line. That's obviously the new one, right? Texier, Evans, Newhook, Bolduc sits out. I think I don't expect that to be long term, but hopefully it motivates Bolduc the right way, and he says, okay, I've got to pick up my game, and he does so. In this lineup, really, I don't see Anderson and Gallagher sitting out. It's going to be Texier or Bolduc, and they're going to have to kind of battle for that. Texier struggles for a couple games, Bolduc get in, and he won't want to lose that spot. So it should motivate Texier, and it should hopefully definitely motivate Bolduc. Now, Texier, Evans, Newhook, I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't predict how that line's going to play, how effective they're going to be. I don't see a lot of size and physicality in that group, but at the same time, two speedy wingers for Evans. He's a fairly smart defensive player. They should be able to create some offense. I think that will be But at the same time, all three are decent defensively, especially Evans. But Newhook's defensive game has made large strides as well over the past like at the start of the year before his injury. He had really since about the middle of last season and the start of this year, we just kept seeing improvements in increments from Newhook when it came to his defensive game. So as far as being able to provide some good defense and offense, the line, and have some decent speed on the wings, they'll provide all those things, and hopefully that helps compensate a bit for what might be a lack of grit or physicality in that group. We'll see. That's the one trio that I'm most interested in seeing here tonight. See how they look. See how Newhook, if Newhook's fully recovered. I don't. The Canadians already have a fast team overall. Especially that defense group now is so much quicker than it used to be in the Shea Weber, Sherratt era. This is going to be a fast team, and every opponent in the league is going to feel going to notice it. Matheson, Gooley, Hudson, Dobson, Jacki Carrier will be the six defensemen. I haven't heard yet whether Dobish is starting. If somebody knows, has heard word yet, say so in the live chat here. But I'm presuming that they'll start Jakob to begin with here, because at this point I do believe that they are considering him to be the starting goalie. Oh, it is Montembeault. Okay, well, I'm not shocked about that, because that's who they want. That's who they want to be the starter. I mean, we've gotten we've got clear indications of that throughout the year. So if indeed it's Samuel Montembeault, well, not shocked by that. The club wants him to be the starter, and they will give him every opportunity to win back that starting job, I'm sure. Hey, Marciano's gotten to work with the two guys. He'll have some input on it. Clearly, he's likely been happy with what he's seen from Montembeault in practice and in coaching him. Go Habs Go, saying MSL desperately wants Monty to be the number one goalie. You know what, though? As I found out and did some digging around, talking to some NHL personnel over the past month, the goalie coach typically has a big say in which goalie starts. So we can't hang this all on the coach. I think it put it this way: if Marciano is saying, "Well, I think Dobish should be starting," Montembeault wouldn't be starting. I don't believe. On some teams and on a lot of teams, it's up to the goalie coach actually, who ends up being in. So it's Sammy Knight saying, I'm not the only one upset Monte is getting the start over Dobish. It's a slap in the face. Yeah, well, it is. It is for Dobie. Bear in mind that rookie goalies in the NHL don't typically become starting goalies. And I know we, based on win percentage, based on save percentage, Dobish is the deserving starter tonight. I think maybe the thought is, to a certain degree, look, it's the Islanders, we're at home. Hopefully we can win this one. Hopefully the defense is strong and Montembeault, isn't bombarded, and it helps build his confidence. Again, I can't argue with them wanting two goalies going. They're going to need to have two goalies going down the stretch here to make the playoffs and to perhaps challenge for first overall in the conference. So I get that a priority is to get Montembeault going here. However, and again, I'm not at practices and I'm not seeing what's been going on. I'm not the goalie coach. I don't know what's happening on the ice, but if it were up to me, just based on, and I mean, if it were up to any fan, really, because all you got to do is look at the stats, right? Dobish is the one of the winningest goalies in the NHL. He finds ways to win games, and Monty's one of the worst goalies this year, stats-wise, in the NHL. So disappointing, but at the same time, I'm not going to cheer against Montembeault. I hope he proves the doubters wrong and has a strong game in a Montreal Canadiens win tonight. But anyway, keep if any information comes in, folks, keep posting it here. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Yeah, well, if multiple goalie coaches keep, feel the same way, I guess we can only be so adamant in our objection to it. I'm trying to be diplomatic here, but anyway, a little disappointed, like I say, but it is what it is. I'll be rooting for Montembeault to have a big game and to win. In Monty, we trust, with a bit of a satirical kind of an emoji along with that from Go Habs 29. If you're watching on X and you want to chime in on the live chat, by all means, join us here at the YouTube HabsCast channel and give us your thoughts. What do you think of Monty getting the start over Dobish to get things rolling here? I look forward to seeing your comments. Now, I just hang on. Apologies for that. David Reinbacher. He is the focus of this episode. I looked at his last 3 games, okay? Now, there have been members of the media who have, been pretty negative about Reinbacher. And I haven't seen every game, but I'd say out of his past 15, I've probably seen between 8 and 10 of them. And I have not seen a lot of mistakes. Like he's been solid. He's gotten better and better as the year's gone on. Now, we have to keep in mind, were there games earlier in the year where he had some struggles? I don't doubt that there were, but you got to keep in perspective. The man has played 62 regular season games in North America, 13 playoff games, 62, not even a full season of AHL experience yet. So, and he also was coming back from missing, about 60 games last year or so, 2/3 of the season last year. And he comes in with very little very little experience, and you know, he you got to expect that there were going to be some mistakes, that he's not always going to make the perfect play, having so little experience, having 21 regular season playoff games coming into this year, at the AHL level. So to be, yeah, I get it. He's a top 5 pick and you expect perfection, but you're not going to get it from any. I don't care. You look at David Jiricek, he's still in the AHL. He was drafted here before Reinbacher, and he's still trying to break in as a regular in the NHL. So yeah, there are going to be bumps on the road. Simo Edvinsson needed AHL time. He was another top 6 pick, big European defenseman. Even Sider, year in the AHL and one over in Europe before he was ready to step in. So you don't see big European defensemen just after being drafted and just stepping into the NHL and just being the finished product. And especially one who has missed as many games as Reinbacher over the past couple of years. Clearly, it set him back a little bit in his development. So we needed to be patient this year. But what we've seen from Reinbacher in the past 9 games is actually pretty astounding, because I had a look at the stats. Now, I put a lot of stock into defensive stats when it comes to defensemen. I mean, the defense is in their name, right? So I consider their defensive play to be the most important thing. Like, unless you're Quinn Hughes, and even if you are Quinn Hughes, you don't have the puck 90 to 95% of the time. So that 95% of the time is pretty important, right? You handle the puck. Quinn Hughes handles the puck more than anybody else in the NHL, and he has the puck 8% of the time. So 92% of the time he doesn't have the puck. That is the most important aspect of being a defenseman, is your play away from the puck, because 90 to 98% of the time you don't have it. And David Reinbacher, scouts have a checklist, and I'll go over it a little later, but of what you look for in a prospect. You've got, you have ratings for different categories. And David Reinbacher is above average in every single category. So he's impressing me, the hell out of me, in the past 9 games. In fact, he's been on the ice for 1 even strength goal against in his last 9 games. And that's how many minutes? I think he's played 164 minutes. 164 minutes in those last 9 games. Been on the ice for 1 even strength goal against in 9 games. 3 goals altogether. So that's a goals against average. Now, this is a stat that I think should be utilized. Like, there's all these advanced stats, but this, to me, is an important stat that I think should be part of all like AHL, NHL, OHL, you name it. And it's goals against average for players. Like, we've got goals against average for teams and for goaltenders, but what about for players? I think it gives you a snapshot, and especially when you compare it to the team's goals against average, of whether a player is above average defensively, or below average defensively. If their goals against average, which is goals against per 60, is lower and significantly lower than the team's goals against average, then that player is obviously not hurting you when he's out on the ice. So Reinbacher, 3 goals against in 164 minutes in the past 9 games. His goals against average, 1.09. The club's goals against average, 2.33. So that's a difference of 1.24 goals per 60. Anything over a half a goal per 60 is very good. There aren't that many that average that. He's more than double that. So he's being extremely, extremely effective when it comes to the defensive side of the game. And that's what the Canadians need. They're at the bottom of the standings in, well, I'll bring it up here. Here, if you look at the standings, they're third in the conference, right? Tied for the lead in goals for, 199. Gotta love that. Look at the goals against. Of the 12 teams that are in the running, just got to get rid of this. Just hang on here. Get rid of that. The 12 teams that are, vying for playoff spots here, they have the most goals against of any of them. So, of the top 11, the Leafs now have more goals against. But, that's the Leafs, right? Notice that they so they need, that is their biggest issue right now, is they've got to stop allowing so many goals against, and especially if they hope to win at playoff time. They really do have to start trimming down the goals against. Gooley being back helps, but I still think there is some size and physicality that needs to be added to the club. Murphy, Whitecloud, Ristolainen's being mentioned. Yeah, I thought he was pretty decent at the Olympics too. There are a few possible names that the Canadians may go after. Unfortunately, the trade deadline's pretty soon here, and there's still a lot of teams in it. So I don't know if Philly will be selling Ristolainen. Possibly. He'd be somebody to consider. But I really think that if they don't add a big physical right defenseman, then Reinbacher's got to be given a look, because I think he can help the team. I think he's an improvement. I like Carrier, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have the range, the physical, the size, the long stick, the physicality, just the natural physicality that David Reinbacher possesses. And as has been mentioned by a couple people, and you'll see in these videos, his defensive game has come along. Let's have a look at the first game here. There's quite a few clips here. I want people to get a really good look at him here and appreciate. I've got 3 videos. It's going to take some time here, but let's have an in-depth look at David Reinbacher and where he's at right now in his game. I mean, I did a video a couple of weeks ago, and he was solid. And these last 3 again, solid. Every now and then, does the puck get turned over? Yeah, it does. But invariably, it's along the boards, and it's not, it's not grievous. And none of his puck losses led to goals in the past 9 games. None. He got a stick in there on there. There's that one even strength goal against. Now, even if you go back and let's have a look at it, that's his only even strength goal against in the past 9 games. And even there, I thought he played. We're just rewinding it here. Comes out. I liked what he did here. Like, so I don't blame him on that at all. It was actually good defense. Here he gets over and gets a stick on. He covers so much area. His range is excellent. Look at how he broke out there with the puck. He's got a good wrist shot too. He got it in on net. Loved that play from him. Let's keep rolling here. I like the majority of his outlet passes have been excellent. Mr. Nicely, why don't you we're 2 minutes into this video. Why don't you watch these 3 videos, okay? Watch. It's fun to have an opinion, but why don't you watch this before you comment about and make actually false comments? Flagpole. He's freaking got legs like tree trunks. People can be frustrating, man. You make a comment like that before the 3 videos play. Like, give me a break. He's his physicality, and you'll notice it in these 3 videos, has really, really come on. And what I like too is that he's always the first back on the puck retrieval, and he takes the hit. You know, he'll take the hit, and the puck. Look at that, boom. I'm gonna back that up and have another look here. Yeah, that's beanpole, Mr. Nicely. Yeah, I'll take that beanpole on my team. Thank you. You'll notice in all of these that his physical play has amped up for sure. There he takes out the guy. Smart play. You know, just enough not to get interference, not to get an interference call, right? Good in front of the net. Yeah, Francois, they are bad overall goals against. And I mean, they could use a guy that's averaging 1.09 the last 9. That's for sure. I love his one-on-one defending. He's really difficult to get around. It does not happen too often at the AHL level anymore. Well, it never actually did. Here we go with him getting off. But, you know, he's really concentrating on, and you'll notice there, and I see it quite often in the highlights, he makes a lot of Karen passes off the boards to forwards. Not a lot of there's a lot of NHL defensemen that don't have that wherewithal. It may not seem like a big thing, but you got to know your angles, and he's very good at it. You know, carrying it off the boards so it gets around the opponent and right onto the stick of teammate. But look at how quickly he closes. I also love his gaps. He's got really tight gap control. He's confident in his skating ability, and certainly at the AHL level, he's well above average mobility-wise now. There's a jet where, you know, oh yeah, nice hit there. The puck ended up going on the, but he cleared the zone. That was the main thing. And then they never, I mean, good luck getting past him anyway. They're coming back in. There again, you see he's got some jam. He doesn't mind sticking guys in front. And there was a turnover. Look how quickly he gets to the puck here, right? Look at the open, and then that big long stick, and prevents the shot. Like, again, you see how long his stick is. It's just so it's so hard to get around a defenseman that's got that reach, right? And especially when you add the mobility and the positioning. He very rarely is in poor position. Here again, he forces the guy to the outside with that length. Joins the rush. Nice play. Keep it going. Look at that. Hey, the little shiver there, and then just what a skater. That was a beautiful play. That almost got a goal, but you know, you get him out there on the ice with the, I don't know, Kapanen line, and he makes play like that. It's ending up in the net, you know. I mean, he's not. It's hard to soar with the Eagles when you play with turkeys, as Don Cherry used to say. Look at this. Thank you very much. And that's obviously icing it on the PK. I like that so much I showed it twice. Here he is getting in on the play. I like how he boxes guys out. And again, he's big and strong enough now to play at the NHL level. Like, he's ready. There's no doubt about it in my mind. But as some people have commented, and it could well be the case, he may, you know, they may want to wait till the. Here he gets a good shot in on net. They may want to wait, hope that he has a good long playoff run. Laval, same thing with Fowler, and hope that they, you know, gain valuable experience, come back next fall, one more season of putting on a little bit of muscle and win a job out of camp. See there again, the physical edge, right? Came in, took out the defenseman with a nice hit after, you know, in the offensive zone. I like that he has no issue finishing his checks. Here again, good luck getting past him. And I like how he avoids hits too. Gooley could learn from this young man. You know, don't take a hit unless you gotta. He'll spin away from getting hit for no reason whatsoever. And I like that, especially of a guy that's had some injury woes. You know, the less that he's hit, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Not that he can't take the hits, just funny things can happen. We saw what happened to Sid Crosby in the Olympics, right? So there's and you know, we got to see the one goal against that he's been on the ice for, and I actually thought he made a really solid play on it. So I had no issues with how he defended on that. I'm hoping that he becomes more of a leader during Engstrom's absence. Well, he's freaking 21. I mean, he's leading the team in ice time. He's physical, got in the scrap, and we'll see that. I'll be showing that too. You know, one goal against in 9 games on even strength. I'd say he's been a leader even with Engstrom in the lineup. All right, let's get to the next game here. This is against Utica. They lost 3-1. Here he is on the power play. He didn't get an assist, but he made a nice play there. So the third assist, right? And I mean, sometimes he gets quite a few third assists. Yeah, it's not on the score sheet, but he made a nice play to keep things rolling there. And look at that hit. again, the physicality. Hey, he'd only played 21 games going into the year at the North American level in regular season. So, right? I mean, it takes time to adjust to the size of North American men in the second most physical hockey league in the world to gain your physicality confidence, and he's done that. And you just see more and more physicality from him as he gains a pro experience here. He will be a physical defenseman in the NHL. He'll use that physicality, and we see it more and more at this level. But every game here, he lays out a couple of big hits and utilizes that size. You want to try to beat him along the boards, you're going to get hit. Robinsonian style. Here again, beat him to the outside. Not too often anymore, boy. Well, it's never been often, really, in North America. He got dangled a couple of times to the inside, but beating him to the outside, no. It's it's good. You don't beat him to the outside very often at the AHL level. Let me tell you, there's a nice play to get it to the defense partner. He played with Delgaizo last night. We got those highlights coming up as well. Here he gets it over. There was a good play. Should have gotten an assist on that, but they couldn't finish it off. We see that often enough where he makes the nice play, but just a lack of finish on the Rocket there. They haven't had a lot of secondary scoring this year. You're not out with Dauphin and Belzile, and he usually isn't. Look at how he got his stick down there. Good luck getting around when he lays down and decides that, hey, that big long stick out, you got to you don't stand a chance getting around him. Another good defensive play by him. They lost 3-1 in this game, but Reinbacher was solid. And last night, too, they allowed 4 goals. Reinbacher wasn't on for any of them. I like how, there's an example where the smart play, bring it right back behind the net, regroup, because the guy was right on him. But he wasn't getting the puck from him. Here again, good luck getting around him. Good pivots, good mobility, and that long reach and the strength now to go with it. And look, see how he cuts off the guy there. And again, the puck, the other team ended up with the puck, but it wasn't in a dangerous situation in any regards. They're a nice little just get it up. I like this pass. Again, there's a example of him using the carom off of the boards, right? There was the right play. Get it back to the defense partner. Get the shot in. I've also noticed one play that he likes to do is he shoots it on purpose wide of the net so it bounce off the boards and come back out to the front. And that's a smart play. When there's no lane, no shooting lane. And especially when he gets up to the NHL level with really smart and skilled players, you're going to see him get a number of assists where he just banks it off the boards, and his teammates will take advantage of the puck coming out to the front of the net. Look at that little tip. I like that. Gets the puck and he just tips it ahead to the winger and then back, and He makes it look so easy out there. He really does. Nice steal there. Again, if Dauphin finishes that off, he gets an assist. But there's decent defending again. You know, we're not seeing perfection, but it's very solid. He's playing really solid right now, and you know it's not a fluke that he's only been on the ice for 3 goals against in his last 9 games. You watch his defending, his positioning, his one-on-one defending, his outlet passing. Look at how easily he just strolled around that guy, eh? For a 6'3.5" kid, just a natural skater. I liked that was on the power play. That would have been the one, you know, he kind of got, the guy got around him. If there was a play where you'd say, well, he could have played that a little better, it was on that penalty kill goal against. But besides that, not too much you can complain about in these 3 games. And considering that Laval lost 2 of them, again, look at the hit there. He's getting more and more physical as he gets stronger, bigger, older. Again, takes the guy out along the boards, shoveled it up, but there's a few instances on here where he gets it up along the boards and there's no teammate there. Like, he makes the right play, but he doesn't get the support. And again, you know, it's examples of at the NHL level that's not going to be an issue. There was his assist. You can back that up because the forward will be there, right? And this was this was his. That was the 3rd assist. Again, didn't get the point, but made the nice play at the blue line. There's a couple of instances of that. There he is getting to the puck with the net empty. You know, the other team couldn't get to him. I'm just reading a few comments here. All right. So that's game 2. Got one more to go here. Carrier served us well, but Brian Reinbacher brings so much more. Yeah, well, I think he's needed more on that blue line. Do you think? But you need depth, right? You need veterans back there. I suspect that they're going to keep Carrier in the lineup for this playoff, and it might be the last one though. I really don't know that. You know, that they're going to need Reinbacher, I believe, by next playoff, if not this one. All right, here's the game last night and the plays he made. Nice reversal there. Got along the boards again. Where's the guy along the boards? Yeah, the puck ended up on the other team's stick, but I don't know what the forwards are doing. No support whatsoever. So it ends up being a cluster a cluster, you know what, in their own zone. But Reinbacher made the right play and put it up along the boards, and there's nobody there. Like, what are you doing, guys? It's Machar who wasn't there. Now he lost his stick, so they're 5-on-4. Give it to him there for blocking it, but look at that, how he took that guy out. Big guy, too. Again, that physical presence that you just can't get from Carrier, right? Carrier just, he's willing, but he's not necessarily able. Look at the way, I like how he pivoted there with the puck and made the right play. And again, good luck getting the puck from him in open ice when he's carrying it out. You just don't. His skating and length. These are nice plays here. Gets it back to the point. He does have good passing skills and vision. And that whole sequence gives you an idea here of what he can do offensively. I'm just backing it up here, but he can carry the puck in. He goes in on the play, makes 3 good plays here, gets it back, and then quickly back to Blais. And then look where he rotates out for the shot here. Like that's very, he covers a pile of ice out there. He really does. Here, I wish they would have shown that because he took the guy out, but the camera went away. And here, the guy, I think, stuck him, and he gives him the stick back. He's again, he's no wallflower out there. There he steps up, hits the guy. But this was a chippy game, and Reinbacher didn't back away. In fact, he initiated a bunch of stuff. Look at that no-look pass. He got it right up to the guy right away. Rubs the guy out. Good play. Here he goes wheeling with the puck. Nice play to get it back when the guy had intercepted it. Here. Good chance. Almost had an assist on that. One. Couldn't get it over the goalie's pad. I like how he got in. Looks like he's beat sometimes, and that friggin' mobility and that long stick, he gets it there in time. Almost could have got a penalty on that one, but they didn't give it to him. That guy held him there. He got friggin' held. But he still managed to win the puck battle and got it to his defense partner. Here again, first one in on the puck retrieval. Gets it to a teammate. Nice defensive play there. Right play. Here again, back to his defense partner. Makes the right decision. 85-90% of the time, he's making the right decisions at the HL level. Again, 60-some games into his pro career in North America. Only going to keep getting better, folks. Nice rush there. Get it in to the offensive zone. Another puck retrieval here. Good play to get away. Nice reverse. Got it out. Oh, here's where he got kicked out of the game. Guy came in and he fed him. Villeneuve, he fed him a few. That wasn't ended up being a very good angle of it, but I've got another one here that shows typical European. They don't always like to take their gloves off, like to punch. It's actually kind of smart. You don't bust a knuckle that way. But he got the misconduct at the end. Here's the Here's where the guy came after him and he didn't take any guff. Fed quite a few there. So, yeah, I like it. I like Reinbacher getting physical, getting in a semi-scrap. They didn't give him a 5-minute major for that, but they could have. Basically his first fight at the AHL level. You know, again, I'm looking at all the things that I look at as a scout. Gap control, puck retrievals, one-on-one defending, agility, lateral movement, pivots, backward skating, outlet passing, size, reach, range, hockey sense, positioning, competitiveness, physicality, all above average. So, anyone that's saying, oh, no, he's not looking good, they're not watching him. There's the last 3 games. I gave stats, 3 goals against in his last, and the average in 23 minutes a game. 1 goal even strength in the last 9 games. His goals against average, even strength in the last 9 games, 0.36. Proof's in the pudding. You read anyone saying, oh, Reinbacher's struggling, they're not watching him, folks, because his game has just went doot, 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 doot as the season's gone along. I liked this game 2 months ago. I like it even more now. I don't know. Again, is it completely perfect? No. Is there any defenseman who's completely perfect? No. Was Makar perfect at the Olympics? No. Quinn Hughes. Oh, Quinn Hughes. Brendan Gallagher undressed him the last time they played. Is he perfect? No. There's no perfect defenseman. So every now and then, whether you were picked top 5 or picked in the 6th round, you're not going to be perfect. But damn close to it. There was not one glaring mistake in those 3 games. Not one. So I like, from a scout's perspective, he's right on course, looking really good. And the Canadians have a keeper here. Top 4 right defenseman all day down the road. I'd bet the house on it. I'd bet house money that he'll be top 4 right defenseman for 15 years, 10, 15 years. So did the Canadians make the right decision in picking him? I think so. I don't think they're going to regret it one bit. We as fans just have to be patient. He missed a lot of time. He's played counting playoffs, less than 80 games in North America. And defensemen need repetition. They need to play. They need experience. They need to make mistakes and learn from their mistakes. And he's clearly doing that. He's made huge strides since the start of this year. So, you can go back and, I saw him a 3-game stretch in December and he made mistakes, so he's going to be a bust. Well, no, that's not how you do it. You keep watching them. You look for progression. You take into account the fact how little experience he has at this level, the fact that he's big, and big, tall, rangy defensemen need time to fill out, right? Grow into their body, get used to the physicality of the North American game, because Switzerland's good hockey, but it's not as physical, right? The AHL is a physical league, and he's adjusted. He's made the full adjustments. If he ends up staying, we'll see, right? If they trade Struble here at the trade deadline, then maybe he gets called up, maybe he gets a look. If they keep him down for the whole year, and that's a possibility, then hopefully Laval has a good playoff run. He gets that valuable playoff experience playing 20 plus minutes a night at the AHL level, has another good summer, just builds maybe 5 more pounds of muscle or whatever, what have you, comes into camp next year. I would be shocked if he's not on the roster to begin training, to begin the season next year at the start of October. I would be shocked if he's not on the roster. I think it's a given at this point. All right. So, as fans, don't worry, be happy. That's all I can say when it comes to Reinbacher. Glenn, afternoon, Grant, and everyone. It's about time things start up again tonight for the Habs. I've been literally going through withdrawal. Yeah, I hear you, my friend. Habs are in third place. They are 6 points out of second. So there is a little bit of a gap right now with the Lightning and Hurricanes, but I think they can make that up. I really do. I think the Canadians are primed here. Their schedule is actually, I think it's very favorable going down the stretch here. So if they can pick things up at home, like 16, 11 losses is more than any other team here. If you look at this, more than any other team of the top 12 teams in the East, they have more losses at home than any of them. Now that's got to change. The Habs have to start taking advantage of being of the best home crowd in the league. Take advantage of that. Love the road record, great, but it's very important that they stop letting in that first goal all the time. It's just because it takes the crowd out of it at home, and it's happened far too often. And not only the first goal, but on the first shot. Here's hoping that the Canadians straighten that out, that Monty in particular straightens that out. But you look at that road record, 16, 6, and 7. That is second best in the conference. So, among the top 12 worst home record, second best road record. So you wouldn't think that would be the case in Montreal, right? But here's hoping that they keep playing as well as they do on the road. I don't expect that, but here's hoping they do. But also that they can turn things around at home, because they should not have almost a 500 record playing at home. Okay. As Simo said, I love the game of Ristolainen at the Olympics. Yeah. I mean, sometimes defensemen, he's been a tire fire in his own zone. I mean, geez, in Buffalo, man, oh man, you just didn't know what you were getting with him defensively. most of the time. I think it's Ruotsalainen, eh? Risto Ruotsalainen. Let me just quickly have a look here. Ruotsalainen. Ristolainen. Why am I having troubles finding this guy's stats? Just bear with me a second here. Rasmus Ristolainen. There we go. -5 this year. Goal, 5 assists. He was injured for most of the year. Buffalo, it was like -32, -21, -25, -41. Sometimes, and particularly big defensemen, they don't really figure it out till the 30s. And maybe that's the case with Ristolainen. Maybe, maybe he's finally figured out how to handle pressure, speed, quickness, size of NHL forwards, forechecking. But bear in mind the Olympics are a little different than the NHL. However, yeah, if Philly says, okay, we're out of it, we don't think we're going to make it, we're going to trade Ristolainen, maybe the Habs consider, right? I just want to have a quick look at the Philly lost last night, right? So they're 61 points, they're 8 out. Yeah. I don't think you got to think what there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams ahead of them in the standings. So the odds that they can somehow jump 5 teams and the 2 teams are Boston just blows the rest of the way, not very likely, right? They're -15 goal differential, so they're not a very good team. They might be selling Ristolainen. They might be selling Ristolainen here. I take it he's a UFA. Pending UFA, is he? No, he's got 1 more year left on his deal. So I don't know. They may want to keep him. Grant, your in-depth statistical analysis is always insightful. Oh, thank you. Les Bleus, Blancs, et Rouge. I mean, I spend quite a bit of money on Instat to get these video clips and to get extra stats that I can provide people here. So, I'm glad that some people appreciate the efforts and the extra cost that I have to incur to do so. But I mean, it's also for my own, just from being such a huge fan and a fan of prospects and Montreal Canadiens prospects. I've followed Montreal Canadiens prospects closely since I don't know, 72, 73. I had a subscription to the Hockey News when I was 9 years old. Bit of a hockey junkie, safe to say. And yeah, I was going to mention this, and Simo also, Dovas will play Saturday night. So, I mean, one of the two had to play tonight. Maybe they think, well, this is the easier game for Monty. Maybe it can help in this process that they're going through and trying to get him to regain his confidence fully. So, I'm not gonna jump up and down screaming the fact that Monty got the start, unless unless he sucks, gives up a goal on the first shot. Then after the game, then you'll see me ranting. Why didn't they start Dovish? We were looking for someone exactly like Reinbacher to play with Hudson, so let's just wait for him. Yeah, I mean, right-handed goalie, right? But actually a little bigger even than goalie. So yeah, I see him as being the perfect complement to Hudson down the line. The very first development camp that Reinbacher showed up at, week after he was drafted, I was there, and Shane and Tony, and we all showed up, and he they paired him with Hudson. They were together the whole time, right? And that told me right away, okay, they're looking. They look at it like I do, that this could be a potential pairing down the line. That's why they drafted him, and give it time, but you'll see it. You'll see Reinbacher with Hudson down the road at some point. I think that's a given. Nobody expects perfection from any player. Well, except the Montreal media when it comes to top 5 pick. Slav, they expect perfection at times. Reinbacher, they apparently expect perfection, because I don't understand the undue criticisms that he's received. Like, every time I've looked at him, he hasn't looked bad. And especially the last 2 months, it's just better. And now he's just really good. Habs need a vet right D for a year or two to make sure Reinbacher arrives completely ready. He's training camp next year. Appears to be getting more aggressive physically. This is Emil. Going forward, I prefer to see him on the third pair instead of acquiring a Murphy Myers type. I might be minority. No, well, we'll see. But you can't. Teams that are going for it, you need depth at defense. It's almost impossible to go any length of time in the playoffs without incurring an injury on defense. It's a major reason why clubs add defensemen come playoff time. Look at the year the Habs went, just as an example there. I'm going to bring it up. Just bear with me here. When the Habs made it to the finals, right? Playoff time, trade deadline, what'd they do? They added Merrill and Gustafsson, right? So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 defensemen that they played in the playoffs. And Romanov ended up playing only 4 because they wanted. I mean, did they make the right choice? Well, they went to the freaking finals, right? You need players that have been through it. You need the veterans. You really do. Playoff time, it's a must. And what did Bergevin do at the trade deadline that year? He added 2 of them, Gustafsson and Merrill. And Romanov paid the price, and everyone was complaining about it. But the Habs went to the final. So, in hindsight, did they make the right decision? Yeah, they did. The Habs may add 2 defensemen. I think it'll be 1, but definitely 1. They're adding a defenseman, and it'll be a vet. It'll be on the right side, and he'll be physical and big. It's just, again, one of those things where I'd be shocked if we see otherwise. Gooley hasn't been the old Gooley since his return. I'd like to see him elevate his game. Yeah. Yeah. Simon wants Ristolainen in there. Yeah. Well, I prefer Murphy, but and White Cloud. We'll see. You're not alone on Reinbacher. Okay, good, Ken. Comparing Gooley and Reinbacher, they're similar in size and height. Yeah, I think Reinbacher's got about an inch on him, but where Gooley is capped out in his size, I believe Reinbacher has a frame. Yeah, I don't know that Gooley's capped out on his size either, but yeah, I think he's got a little bit more room to add up top. He's got really thick, big legs. Believe it or not, may not look like it on the ice, maybe because his legs are long, but he's got a sturdy lower body. Montreal is bad at overall goals against, but they're actually 16th at 5-5. It's really the PK that hurts them the most. Yeah, well, and who's on that top PK? It's Carrier, right? I don't know. Good run with the Rocket. Be perfect for him. Yeah. I don't know. Were you watching? Were you looking at did you look at those 3 videos, Simon? He trusts himself. Hey, Grant, do you think Montreal can actually win a playoff series with Evans as a 3C? Yeah. I don't like. I don't know. I don't think. But there's also, I think you've got to look at this and say, is that really the third line? You know, like Texier, Evans, Newhook will not. I don't think they'll get any more ice time than Anderson, Danault, Gallagher. Like a lot of nights, they probably even might get less. Certainly a 5-on-5. So I don't, I think what you've got here is top 2 lines and then 2 third line or 2 fourth lines, however you want to look at it, right? 3A, 3B, or 4A, 4B. So, do I think what I think it is, like Suzuki, Kapanen, Evans, Danault? I don't think the quartet brings enough size and physicality there. I think they need one physical, big, defensive, 2-way center for the bottom 2 to complement the other 3. Danault and Kapanen aren't undersized. They're decent size, but they aren't above average size, and they aren't above average physically. So I wouldn't mind. Right, Evans is 5'11 and a half, 5'11 and a half, listed at 6 feet, but he's never hit 6 feet. Same with Suzuki. Susie's you'll see listed at 6 feet, but he's 5'11 and a half. Don't go to hockey websites and it's, oh, well, it says 6 feet and he's 6 feet. Well, no, he's not. So they're each both under 6 feet a bit. Evans is also not physical or thick. At least Susie, he's got legs like tree trunks too, just like Newhook. The two of them are about 5'11", 5'11 and a half, and 200 plus pounds. So you're right. But Evans, he's not. He's, I don't know, maybe 190 at the most. And I don't know if they can win at playoff time with those four centers. Doc, it appears, is going to play on the wing on the top line. So, there would be the other option that he maybe comes back, right, and plays third line center. But we'll see. We'll see what happens at the deadline here. If they pick up a top six winger, Doc can move back into that slot. If they pick up a big center, in either instance, Evans is out a spot. I would not be surprised if Evans gets dealt at the deadline here. Struble, Engstrom, Evans, I think, are the three most likely trade chips here. Yes, Engstrom's hurt, but you can trade injured players. It's not like he's out long term. It's a month at the most. And teams that are tanking, that want McKenna or Stenberg, are not going to mind picking up a guy that's out for a month. Engstrom can help Chicago. Engstrom can help a few teams right now, but they don't want help in the lineup right now. They want help in the future, and that's what Engstrom ultimately will do. He won't be able to play for the next month, and a team like Chicago, for instance, if they were to trade, let's say, Murphy for Engstrom, they won't mind not having Engstrom in the lineup for the next month and lose a few, because that's what the game plan is, right? Not for the players. They're going to still keep trying, not for the coach, but for the GM. Yeah, sure. Let's pick up an Engstrom and lose while he's out of the lineup. I think the PK will improve with Newhook back. That helps with the previous stats. Yeah, well, certainly I'd rather have Newhook killing penalties than Texier. Kapanen and Newhook look decent together as a PK pairing earlier on. PK is better since Danault. It was because Evans was out, and then Evans came back, and the stats went. When Evans was hurt, they were 27th in the league. While he was out, they climbed up to 20, and since he came back, they went back down to 26th. So, what's the one common denominator here? Evans. It's surprising because Evans has been a good penalty killer in the past, but this year, for whatever reasons, he's struggling on the penalty kill. I did make a video, and I still haven't put it up on my Patreon, but I will now, just on Evans and his struggles on the PK this year. Alex is McFarlane or whatever is saying he's such a smart player that the Habs could use immediately. Yeah, I think so. Looking at Reinbacher, he looks thicker than Dobson already, and he's physically capable of NHL play. Why wouldn't Reinbacher be ready? I think he's ready. As my headline said there, ready for prime time. I believe he's ready to play. Now, can you overcook him by leaving him Laval the rest of the year in the playoffs? No. And from what from what I understand from what Hughes said in his last press conference, they want him overripe. Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's already spots on that banana. He's overripe, but they might have a little different opinion on that. Overripe meaning, you know, it's the banana's already bruised, right? I'm hoping that Reinbacher becomes more of a leader. Oh yeah, I already addressed that one. Goulet and Carrier often leave themselves vulnerable, taking too many punishing hits. Yeah, and that's one of the things, as I pointed out during the videos, that Reinbacher doesn't mind. He doesn't take the hit unless he has to, and I like that. I like that in a defenseman, because that's how you get hurt. Jarosky with 2 goals today. Encouraging for him. Salavat only scored twice. And let me just look at the... Oh, he scored twice in the shootout. Okay. Somebody posted that he scored twice, but it was in the shootout. So I guess they have 3 shooters, and then if it's still tied, you get to shoot again. So Jarosky took 2 out of the 4 shots for Ufa in the shootout, and he scored on both. So good for him. But as Simon said, he scored 2 goals. Not technically, that's not correct. He scored 2 shootout goals. Not quite the same. I think that the Habs have some decent mentors. Yeah. Matheson in particular. Laval's got a couple too, like Paquette Bisson, has been around the block. Didier, it's not like they Del Gaizo. All these guys have experience. I sure hope he's really improving, or will never survive in NHL. I don't understand. Why? Because he's too small? Because he's dumb? Because he can't skate? Again, he checks off every box, Jeff. Every box. And, really improving? It's been a steady improvement all year. He's never been bad all year. The narrative that he's sucked was never right, was never true. So, on French podcast, Reinbacher's call it bust. Ridiculous at 21. Yeah, well, yeah. I rest my case. I think Jess maybe watched a few too many of them. With all due respect, Jeff, his shooting lane is Lane Hudson. Yeah. Reinbacher brings so much more. Yeah, skating ability could be his biggest asset considering his size. Well, the size skating combo is great. Yeah, I think. Yeah. And if you add a top 6 forward, you had to let Doc go. No, Doc can be the 3rd line center. Newhook, Bolduc, Doc. That wouldn't be a bad 3rd line, right? Toropchenko, Doc, Newhook, something along those lines. I think it would be a step up on Tex-J Evans' new hook at playoff time. They're not getting rid of Doc. They need Doc. Do you consider the skill set needed on the PK as somehow different than the one at 5-5 for a defenseman? Could you describe how is Reinbacher doing specifically on the PK? Oh, he's fine on the PK. He's logged a fair bit of ice time on the PK, and again with his positioning, with his IQ, with his long stick, with his ability to clear the crease area, box out opponents. Those are all ideal traits for a defenseman penalty killing. All right, we got 99 here at the YouTube. Oh, it just went down to 97. 745 watching on X. Hop on over, folks. YouTube, HabsCast on YouTube. Join in the live chat here. Let's get this. Let's break 100 here, can we not? And by the way, if you don't mind liking, just press the like button. Maybe the hype button if you're on your mobile phone. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I really appreciate. I would really appreciate it. Here we are at 99 again. I want to see. There we go. 100. Just hit the triple digits. Thank you, folks. I like to have at least 100 people tuning in live here on the YouTube channel, because it's a great community that we've built here. I get a little, I get a little randy with people at times, but hey, we're all passionate, right? Passionate Hab fans, that's all. El Rhino, yes, VDoc. El Goodo. The problem with Rhino is no team goes in the playoffs saying, hey, I know what we could really use. Less experience. Yeah. Well, Laval's going to go into playoffs. Happy that they have him if he doesn't go up, that's for sure. But like you say, Leo, that's why they're going to add a veteran defenseman, right? Doesn't mean they won't call up Rhino, and it doesn't mean that he'll never play, but I do believe that they will be adding an experienced defenseman to that group. As I mentioned earlier, they what did they do the only time they've gone to the Cup final since '93? They added 2 veteran defensemen at the deadline, even though I didn't like either of them particularly, especially Gustafsson. Oof. Do I think he'll get a few games? The longer it goes on, the less. What? Get back to me March 6th. If Struble gets traded, or Jackeye, or Carrier, then yes, he will get some games. If none of them get traded, no, maybe not. If there's an injury, yes, he'll get some games. But Engstrom can't be called up. He's injured. So who's next in line? Reinbacher. If they have an injury on the blue line, yes. Either way, if they trade Struble, Jackeye, Carrier, yes. I'll be able to answer that question a little more assuredly by March 6th. Probably they will move Struble for another defenseman, maybe. Yeah. Or Engstrom. Engstrom might be the bigger, might have more trade value. with the D prospects in the pipeline, things will be very interesting on the back end for years to come. Yeah. Pickford, you see that he had got the tying goal there. Oh, geez, we went back down to 90. We up to 100 now. It's down to 90 in here. Oh, well. Fluctuating the wrong way, unfortunately. Dribble for a rental. Could be a rental. We'll see. He's saying for a bigger fish. I don't think Struble has huge trade value, but there'll be teams that could use him. Hi, everyone. They wanted Habs management to take Michkov. Oh, many wanted him. He wasn't exactly tearing up the league, so let's be patient and see what he becomes. Yeah. Michkov, boy. Starting to be some doubts creep in there. That doesn't surprise me, but anyway. They need to make a 5-for-1 trade. Yeah. Well, we'll see with line A here too, right? I think it makes sense. LA, they're like 29th. They're 29th on the PK. You know, I think that on the power play. Fiala out. They went for it with Panarin. They want to replace Fiala. Maybe line A is somebody. They've got the cap room now with Fiala's on LTIR. Maybe Fiala. By the way, folks, 10-time Stanley Cup winner, Hall of Famer, one of the best right wingers of the 70s and 60s, Yvan Cournoyer. He got his flooring at Logs End. Do me a big favor and get in touch with these guys if you or anybody you know might be looking for some flooring. I think you go to the website logsend.com, have a look. I think it'll blow you away. You get in touch with them, tell them that Grant and Yvan sent you, and I promise you they'll look after your needs. That's logsend.com. Their sponsorship's coming to an end here at the end of February, so you know, if you are waffling about maybe contacting them, do me a favor, do it now so that I can hopefully renew their sponsorship, because they obviously want to see some they want to see some return for their investment. I appreciate it if you know anyone, or you might even just getting a quote or whatever. It at least lets them know that, hey, people are noticing their sponsorship, and go from there. Even with a few years of hindsight, I'm still taking Reinbacher number 5. Yeah. Well, I see a top 2 right defenseman all day. That's such a valuable piece. 18 to 24 minutes a game. PK can go on your second power play if need be down the road. Shutdown guy out there on the ice the last 2 minutes of a game. It's like I talked to Bobrov in his after he was drafted, and he was coming up with reasoning as to why him and not Michkov, particularly because obviously with Bobrov's Russian ties, he knew a lot about Michkov and the background and everything, but saying, who do I want out there? 2-1 game, right? Playoff game, up 2-1. last couple of minutes of a period, last couple of minutes of a game. Is Michkov out there or is Reinbacher out there? There's no, no question. It's Michkov. It's not Michkov. If it's a tie game, same deal for him. Reinbacher is out there. Coaches tend to err on the side of conservatism in that case, and you don't see you didn't see Tortorella doing it. You don't see Tocchet doing it. You don't see Michkov out on the ice when you're trying to shut down the other team, prevent a goal. So the Canadiens already had 5-7 scoring winger. They weren't going to get a 5-9 scoring winger to play on the top line with him. You just don't have two players under 5'10" on your top line on the wings. You're not going to win at playoff time with that. You're just not. And no team does it. So Michkov wasn't going to be a first line winger on the Habs. They already had Slav in the stable, right? It just made sense. It made total sense for them to want Reinbacher instead of Michkov. What it came down to for them ultimately was Reinbacher or Leonard. Now, I loved Leonard, and I think, I had him ranked higher. I had Dvorsky ranked higher. Would I have taken those two guys instead of Reinbacher? Yeah, but I had them all beside each other. And as far as the need goes, there were some questions with Logan Mailloux. So at the time they didn't have Dobson. You draft that big right defenseman that you're confident will be top two right defenseman, maybe first pairing right defenseman. Yeah, the 20-minute guy. There's no question. That's the value is high in taking that player. Every draft in the past 30, with the exception of one, I believe, there has been a defenseman taken in the top 5. And if they had not taken Reinbacher, 5th overall, would have been the first or second in 30 years. And you can be sure that if he's there at 6, Arizona's taking him. Not Simashev, they're taking Reinbacher. They liked him a lot. Struble, Engstrom, Newhook, Line and a first for XXXX. Yeah, well. Does a team want all of those players, right? Sounds good from a Habs perspective, but let's say, I don't know. So you're obviously wanting a big fish there, right? Job. St. Louis, let's say St. Louis said, okay, Thomas who's the player that's close to Thomas in that group? If you are trading a Thomas, you are trying to get an asset back that you think can be close to him. Ultimately, Sam Pollock used to say, the winner of a trade is a team that got the best player. Well, in that circumstance, hard not to argue that Thomas would be the best player by far. I don't see a trade like that being appealing to a team saying, okay, we'll give you our 80 point scorer who's 26 years old for that package. Who's their who are their top two centers down the road? Then you get rid of. It's not Struble, not Engstrom, not Newhook, definitely not Line. First round pick at the end of the first round isn't going to get you top two center either. So if St. Louis trades Thomas, the return is going to have to include a center with the potential to replace him, to be a top two center for them down the road, I do believe. Oh, you guys talking about why Newhook? Well, if you could get Robert Thomas, Newhook could be. I wouldn't have no issues, including Newhook, but and as pointed out by Ken, it's not always about height, right? Newhook's thick kid, but Risto has never played on a competitive team, never been in the playoffs. Yeah, I know. That's the part that, when you go back to his turnover ways, again, there's reasons why. Well, you're saying that's a good thing. Well, I just don't know at playoff time what to expect from Ristolainen. I don't know. He still scares me. I got less questions with White Cloud for sure. White Cloud would be my first choice. I think he's a perfect guy to bring in. Murphy as well, I would prefer over Ristolainen. Kenny thinks that the deadline might be quiet. Yeah, maybe. Regarding Monty, if you have Sir wanting to showcase him to provide proof to teams, yeah. I wish that was the case, Glenn. No, I think they're still trying to they still think he's their starting goalie. Montreal needs toughness on D. Yeah. Well, Charles, I've been saying it, so you're agreeing with me too. Reinbacher has many intangible skills you don't see often. The skating, vision, grittiness, combined with the size, is really something. I'd be more patient and over-ripen him because of that. He's definitely ready. Yep. Good. Thank you for the post, Tony. I agree. Carrier needs to go. He's too small. Only room for one sub 6D on a contender. Reinbacher would be an instant upgrade over Carrier. I don't know about instant, but he's going to be an upgrade on Carrier if and when they decide to finally switch the two. What they might look at doing here for now is have Carrier as as the third right D if they don't trade for one. I like seeing Gooley with Jacka on the right side. Could be a feared pairing come playoff. Yeah. Jacka on the right side in the playoff. Oof. Question mark there. Speedy Winger's coming down on his offside with his stick on the wrong side. I mean, he gets burnt on his good side at the best of times. I don't know. Don't like Gooley playing on the right as he gets hit too much on his blind side. Oh, that's a good point. But you want Jacky on the right? Just pick up a freaking right defenseman. I can't see them not doing it. I really can't. Do we see other Laval D-men having trade value? I don't know. Trudeau's what? Waiver eligible next year? So team trades for him. He doesn't make the team out of camp, and then they lose him on waivers, or could possibly. I don't know. I like Trudeau, but I mean, there's a little bit of value there, but I don't know. Every organization has the guy, the ninth defenseman playing in the AHL. That's good, but do they have NHL value? Not necessarily. Pickford at 19 has come along real good. 35 goals, yes. I haven't seen much of Chicago this year. Why is Murphy only getting 16 minutes on night? Because they're trying to develop the young guys. He's expendable. He's not the future. I think the Habs would regret trading Evans. You can win a cup with him at 4C. Yeah, I don't know. One thing for sure, if Kent wants to aggressively go after top-tier dollar player, common sense dictates to enable this plan. Laine will be sent to a team with prospects or pick incentives. So, Alex, is Deneau the third C then? Or did they pick up another center, unload Deneau, which they aren't going to do, by the way? Right? So I would try number 72 on left wing and the fourth line. Yeah. Laval winning a Calder Cup would be valuable to all the prospects there. We hear this lot, there, Moon Observer, about him playing on the right, on the fourth line. Don't see it happening. You had a top six forward, you had to let Doc go. No, I don't think so. I don't think that they're adding a top six forward. Maybe. Danino was a forward in his first years, became a defenseman. Well, Arbor could become a left winger. Yeah. Yeah. Get rid of your 6'4" center winger. No, not me. Doc is a winger or okay as a center, not sure. Yeah. Doc isn't. Why does he? Yeah. Well, that's your opinion. You're certainly welcome to post it. I don't agree, Phil, but the problem is not that he sucks; it's that he's injury prone. Yeah. You worry about a player being injury prone, right? Everybody's injury prone. Has Doc got an injury since he was back? No. Hit the like button. Yeah, good idea. Wouldn't mind it, folks. Grant, are you doing a post game tonight? I do a post game every night, Glenn. Every single game, post game. But thanks for reminding me to tell people. Yes, post game tonight. VDoc, how do you know he's 6'3"? Did you measure him or did you see it on a website? Let me guess, it's on their college website, says 6'3". They can add 2 inches at times on the team websites. I somehow doubt that at 21 he grew 2 inches, but anyway, he has gotten bigger. Hopefully he's 6'2" now. He does look bigger. He's playing well. I've liked Logan Sawyer. his game this year. His skating's improved. He's gotten stronger. He's playing more competitively. He's becoming a decent prospect. He's pushing for the top 10. He's pushing for the top 10. I'm going to do another Habs prospect update here soon, and he's pushing to be in that top 10. There are so many Habs fans that know the sports, but their opinions are poor. I wonder why. Same with Leaf fans. When you got 10 million of any, you got a group of 10 million, you're not going to have 10 million savants. There's going to be some a variance in opinions. Doc hasn't even scraped the surface of what he's capable of. No. But I also think Doc has looked good. I haven't minded Doc, especially since he came back. He looked good just before he got injured. He's looked good. He's only looked better since he came back. Hey, he's not looking out of place on the top line. Why would you? He brings size. He brings physicality. Points in his last 4 games going into the break. 5 points in 4 games. +4. And that's only averaging like 16 minutes a game. So let's just wait and see here on Doc. I hate people saying, pigeonholing. As a top pairing for the Rocket in the playoff, it could be a very good experience. Last year, they got Mayu at this spot. Yeah. Frankly, thanks for the hard work it takes to compile these in-depth stats and build videos. Excellent effort. Thanks, frankly, and appreciate you. I appreciate that. I really do. I put a lot of time into it, and I'm glad that there are people that appreciate it. I thank you for those kind words. Everyone at once, hit that like button. Let's show support for Recruits HabsCast and what Grant's doing. Thanks, Glenn. How about Roy, Lemieux, and Corson? I think they did great with no experience in 86. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, you can bring in young guys, right? And they can contribute. How did Cole look in the 2021 playoffs? I thought he did okay. Demi was okay last playoff. It's just, but I think they need to add a veteran defenseman, and they will. I hate the injury-prone rationale. Yeah, I do too. Some players struggle early on, never snap out of it. Or any of you, yeah. Very few have injuries throughout their career. They'll have injuries early on. They'll have injuries later on. They'll have injuries in the middle. We'll see. But Doc might be healthy for the next 5 years. You don't know. Hope they don't recall Del Gaizo. Probably not. If they recall somebody on defense over the next month, it'll be Reinbacher. They already have size in Laval and Montreal, but to limit ice time as defenseman, but it could adapt to a left winger might work out. Yeah. They're going to trade for size or Moon Observer. It's not on them. They're 200 games. You are what you are for most. No, you're not. It's hard to say, Francois. I mean, You can rank these guys wherever you want. The only for sure thing is that whatever your ranking is, it'll change in a couple of years. And by the way, I've really liked Thorpe. I wouldn't put him ahead of Thorpe. Thorpe is coming. A 20-year-old playing at his size, playing in the AHL takes time. I'm noticing him more and more every game. I definitely like Thorpe. I like Thorpe's floor a lot more than Sawyer's at this point. Like I see a future fourth liner for sure on the Canadians. Sawyer, I don't know. We'll see. But he's definitely improving. I live outside Calgary and going to see Pickford's Medicine Hat Tigers play Calgary tomorrow. Right on, Ken. Why don't you give us an update next time you're on? Okay, I'd be interested in getting your thoughts on it. Do you see Toronto paying to get rid of Carlo? Yeah, not the biggest Carlo fan, but maybe. Yeah, gonna have to move some assets. I agree. Michkov, Yakupov. We'll see. I have mentioned that possibility before. They've got similar. Their points per game drop from year 1 to year 2. Very similar kind of attitudes. Similar, all kinds of skill. 16, and kind of hit a wall and aren't progressing from there. Not willing to do the hard work away from the puck. I don't know. There is some. He is reminding me a bit of Yakupov. I have to admit it. Everyone that has been crying, we should have taken Mechkov as quieting down now, eh? Yeah. Yeah, I remember going on Tony's podcasts and he'd always bring it up and we'd end up actually kind of sparring a bit about it because just Tony, wait and see, you know. Tony, Michkov's going to be a 50-goal scorer. Well, you're watching some highlight tapes, Tony. I'm watching the frigging games. I never saw a 50-goal NHL. Maybe, but sure not looking that way, is it? Lucky to be a 30-goal scorer, the way he's going now. Engstrom will demand a trade if he starts in Laval next year. Yeah. Bryce Pickford's Medicine Hat Tigers. What am I thinking is the floor and ceiling on Pickford? Okay, that's kind of a repeat of your last one, but you added something. Geez, we're already up to 2 hours here, right? I better wrap this up soon. Getting a lot of comments. Floor is I don't know, AHL defenseman. Ceiling is top 4 first power play 20-goal scoring NHL defenseman. There's quite a range there between the floor and the ceiling. Justin Falk. That's not the answer on defense. Another small, undersized defenseman. Habs are actually not saying they want size in the press conference. He's saying he wants. It goes with the physicality. They need some size. Yeah. I would take Ryan Leonard because I don't know how much Reinbacher. I don't know much Reinbacher, but I think it was the right choice. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've addressed this, I don't know how many times about him being up on the wing. The Flyers had proposed Gutter Gauthier for Rhino. Yeah, well. That's as a Blues fan. Hey, Rodney, what do you guys think is a realistic return for Thomas? Oh, jeez. An A prospect and a first, something like that. It's gonna have to be good. Yeah. Well, the Habs there aren't trading Reinbacher to get Thomas. Kapanen might, you don't. No, there may not be a fit there with the Habs. I think St. Louis wants to get back a potential top two center, and the Habs don't have that to offer right now. I don't see them being trading partners for Thomas. Be more likely to be Toropchenko, even Braden Shen. I think they trade for before Thomas. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, Rodney, that would be where he would end up. Heard that the Flyers would have taken Reinbacher over Michkov. Maybe. They liked him. Okay. Can we get off the Arbor Jack guy? The live chats turn into Arbor Jack guy chats way too often. Keep note hook, he's exciting. I think the most he's skating backward on the right side, and he's able to cross the full ice laterally and stop a guy coming to the left. Yeah, I know. His range, Reinbacher's range is excellent. He covers the like Matheson out there. One-on-one defending. He's so rangy, and that's a good point, Francois. I did mention that during the video. Rangy. Bye, Grant. Nearly 8 p.m., so going for dinner. Try to catch you briefly on the post game. Okay. Regards from Scotland. Oh, yeah, Charles. That's right, eh? Okay, my friend. Go have your haggis there, and hope to see you after the game. Yes, I'll be doing a post game right after. Bob Trask's going to join me. I don't know if there'll be anyone else. Yeah. So Marco got out the tape measure and measured him, did he? All right. I guess then no number 72 will be traded soon. Oh boy, you are really stuck on Arbor Jack Eye, eh, Moon Observer? Doc Eye will be a stud. I love the pod. It's got me through bad days. You make my days better. That's what I said yesterday, but I guess you didn't see it. Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't see it. No. It wasn't up. I went through everything. US is interfering with my comments. Keep up. Much love from Oshawa. Okay, Bilal, thank you. Doc is an excellent fit for Suzuki and Caulfield. Having a great 200-foot physical player is way better than a pure offensive player like Kyrou and such. Yeah, I agree. I'm from old Montreal. Okay, but put Oshawa for the past while. My friend Kyle Boilers played there. I think he's in the ECHL. That's pretty cool. And Phil, guys, like you can get your point across, but when you make 42 posts about the same thing, we get it. You don't like Doc. You're not going to talk us into not liking Doc because you don't like him. Anyway. I'm going to start a pod myself. I'd love for you to be my first guest. Okay. I think injury-prone player is a real thing. Yeah. I don't know. Laurie's been Team Reinbacher. You might have misinterpreted my comment. I'd rather trade expendable pieces for picks than trade prospects for slight upgrades. Keep the talent pool coming. Only so many prospects can make it, like Logan Sawyer. Realistically, where does he fit in the lineup? Nowhere now. We'll see down the road, but there's 12 forward spots, 6 defense spots. There are 9 spots taken next year up front for sure. And that's not even including Hage, and Zorowski's coming. And anyway, at some point, when you've got the best farm system, the best under 25 group in the league, and you're a contender, and that's the Habs right now, you got to trade some of those assets because they're not all going to play, or you lose them for nothing down the road. So trade them when their value's high. Get the pieces that you need to compete now and keep on rolling. It's good. Some people should start watching another sport. Montrealers don't have an innate right to hockey knowledge. Okay. The Dirty Schwa. Sean Thornton was from Oshawa. When will Montreal go with the flow? All right. Well, anyway, on that note, it's turned into the Florian Jackeye Love Fest. Gotta go. My voice is already going. Arbor Jackeye had 107 mile an hour slap shots, so yeah, too bad he can't score with it. Most goals he scored in any league is 6. It's fine to have a 106 mile an hour slap shot, but you're never getting it through, never hitting the corner. It really, it's great, but Gaston Gingras, remember, Gaston let her fly, and yeah, I'm talking about Arbor, obviously. Gaston let her fly, and he'd hit that glass. It'd sound good, smack off that frigging glass every time. I hit the net about once every 15 shots, but it was hard. Sounded hard. Flo's not quite ready. No. Well, look at his stats, right? When you go like this, I think what Florian did in the offseason was he put on too much weight, and that wasn't what he needed to do. He's got to get quicker, and that's not quite happening yet. But he's not playing poorly, but he's not playing better. So he's a year away. He may never make it. Thorpe, for me, is a better prospect right now. If you were asking me which of the big guys that are playing in Laval has the best chance to being in the lineup down the road, I would put Thorpe ahead of Flo, but Flo is also in that mix. I think Tuck, it's not looking good for Tuck now. He's kind of, he's not progressing, but Papanicus, yeah, a little disappointed. So, that's where a guy like Logan Sawyer maybe eventually, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger, he's playing with more competitiveness. He's one of the best players in Providence. So yeah, maybe he does end up jumping Papanicus, Jack-Eye, perhaps Thorpe, but he's in that category now, and I wouldn't have said that 3 months ago. So good for him. He's making progress. Volokin, by the way, I've got I'm going to be posting a Volokin video sometime over the next 3 days. Gonna have on a guy that knows goaltending better than me, and he'll break down what he sees along with me. I've been very impressed. Volokin is in that mix too for the top 10 Habs prospects at this point. He's really coming along. I've been impressed. So keep your eyes out for that. Thank you, everyone. Great turnout. Great turnout for this. We're up over 800 what they've been watching on X. Appreciate the support. Post game, Habs, Islanders. Hope to see you. I'll come on right after the game, probably 9:40, 9:45 Eastern. Hope you can join me. We'll have some fun breaking down what we all hope will be another Habs victory tonight. Okay, been on way too long. My voice is going. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk soon.